of LA Blueprint, and welcome to LA Blueprint's first info session. So we're going to go over what this organization is about, how you can get involved, and answer any questions you may have at the end. And again, we are recording, so feel free to turn on or off your cameras if you are comfortable with anything. But yeah, Helen, do you want to go to the next slide, or Dia? So first, a little bit about what our organization is about. We're an organization at UCLA that partners with local nonprofits to make technology more accessible to historically underserved communities. And we do this by making web or mobile apps for nonprofits around LA or even around SoCal. And yeah, we work on designing and developing the app from scratch. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later. Next slide. So a big part of Blueprint is our people and our community, and we really try to put our members first at the center of everything and to support them in their journey to learn and grow as designers and developers. Currently, the makeup of our team includes the exec team, who organizes the infrastructure of your experience, learning, outreach, and socials, and our project leads who talk to the nonprofit and lead the app development and mentor you in your journey. Next slide. And this is the rest of our team, the designers and developers who also work on the apps.
Hi, I'm Helen. I'm one of the, well, I guess I'm the other co-president, and I used to be a developer. And this slide shows a bunch of our key pictures. So here at Blueprint, we really care about the team experiences we create, not just the work that we're doing. We're really invested in making sure we have socials, both for the entire club and in your project teams. And we have stuff like retreats, dinners together, banquets, stuff like that. Look at all of these cute pictures of us from previous events. Like, we're going kayaking, we're at banquet. We are so cute and we are so fun. And if you join us, you can be in pictures like these too. Could I have the next slide, please? So here's a little bit about our history. We are the third chapter of Blueprint. Our org was founded at UC Berkeley, followed by the University of Waterloo and Ontario, and then us in 2019. Obviously, we are the best chapter because after us, there were even more. We've grown dramatically in size, as you can see from the several chapters after us, and we've definitely increased our impact and intercooperation as an organization. Next slide, please. And not to brag too much, but we've helped produce some very successful and very wonderful alumni. Here are some of the places they've been, and I can definitely speak on my personal experience where the work I've done as part of Blueprint has been essential to helping me figure out where I want to go in my career and develop the technical and soft skills I need to get there. And of course, this isn't the focus of Blueprint, and our main focus is always on the apps we're creating to benefit our student learning and our outside community, but it doesn't hurt that we are also getting knowledge that immensely benefits your career. Next slide. And now to get a better understanding of what our org does, let's go over some of our past projects.
Hi everyone, my name is Isaac. I'm the VP of Design this year, and I'll go ahead and talk about one of our projects from last year. So one nonprofit organization that we collaborated with last year is Asian Pacific Islander Forward Movement. We call it APIFM for short. And they're a nonprofit organization that works to proliferate culturally relevant produce in API communities. And they have this mission to bridge the gap between API farmers and consumers. So we specifically worked with the Food Routes program, which basically is a food hub that aggregates and distributes produce to community organizations and institutions in LA. So what we did is we designed a grocery ordering mobile app that allowed APIFM to display their inventory in a marketplace. And basically it streamlined communication between buyers and distribution channels. And ultimately the app helped increase the accessibility of culturally relevant produce to local API community, and also helped mitigate COVID-induced food insecurities.
Hi, my name is Yuri, and I'm one of the developer PLs, developer project leads. Last year, I was on the team that collaborated with Shoes That Fit, one of the other nonprofits. Shoes That Fit focuses on eradicating one of the most visible signs of poverty, which is the lack of shoes on many children's feet. So they take in a lot of donations from different people and redistribute them among elementary schoolers and younger kids who might not be able to afford the shoes. Before we collaborated with them, their main source of inventory tracking was with Excel spreadsheets, sometimes manually printing them out and then manually, like using pen and paper, check marking them. So what we created was a web application that had both an administrative view and that had an administrative view that could manage the inventory for the shoes within that could manage the shoes that were in the inventory and then could redistribute them among the schools. So for example, some of the pages that we had were a dashboard page, an order form page, and others. So with this web application, we were able to streamline the entire process of them getting shoes and then redistributing shoes.
Hi, I'm Bia. I'm the current external vice president. And last year, I was the PL for, last but not least, the Conscious Kid. The Conscious Kid is an education, research, and policy organization that promotes healthy racial identity development. And they have donated hundreds of thousands of books to Black-owned barbershops and schools and grown a following of 2.1 million people who look to them for educational resources to teach their kids about anti-racism. But as a result, they get a lot of frequent requests asking for individual recommendations for resources and children's books that they can't fulfill just because of the size of their team. So what we created for them was an educational hub for educators, parents, and children to access anti-racist resources and personalized book recommendations so that all of this information, all of this work that they've done is easily accessible to people, even if they don't have, they aren't able to get a direct donation from the Conscious Kid.
Now that you've heard, oh, sorry, I should also introduce myself, huh? So I'm Avnish, I'm the current internal vice president. And also now that you've heard about the projects about last year, we should talk a little bit about the upcoming recruitment cycle. So who are we looking for? So this recruitment cycle, we're looking for mainly developers and designers. As you may already know, developers work on coding the project and making sure the application actually works in the end. And designers handle the UI UX aspects of the application, allowing for a smooth user experience when using our app. Next slide, please. So essentially that's all on who we're looking for. If you have any other questions, we will have breakout rooms at the end of this and a short Q&A. So without further ado, we should definitely move on to discussing the 3 nonprofits that we'll be working with this upcoming year.
Hi, all. My name is Sarah, and I'm the design PL for Blueprint this year, and I'll be working with Jerry with the nonprofit organization called Friends of the Children. And Jerry, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone again. My name is Jerry, and I will be the developer project lead for Friends of the Children.
Next slide, please. Okay. Friends of the Children is a youth mentoring nonprofit organization that specializes in working with youth who have faced a lot of adversity. It partners with community organizations, schools, and foster care systems to identify children who can most benefit from a friend, which is a professional mentor, and become a trusted resource for the youth and caregivers. Ultimately, Friends of the Children pairs underserved youth with a paid professional mentor called a friend, and friends serve as a link between the different areas of the child's life to create stability and consistency, and ultimately spending time in school or spending in the neighborhood and building community and connection and time at home. Next slide, please.
So some of the problems that they were running into was they serve 152 children and their families from all over the greater Los Angeles area. And because they serve so many people, communication is very difficult between the administration who plan the different events for Friends of the Children and their children's caregivers. So instead of having like an easy way to access to communicate with all the caregivers, they rely on the mentors as a liaison to contact the caregivers. And usually the mentors have to use a variety of different methods, such as texting, calling, emailing, because some of the caregivers might not have an email, or some of them might not have a phone. So our solution and what we plan to build is a web application that serves as a centralized resource bank. So in this resource bank, caregivers can access modules with links and upcoming resources, links and resources that they can click on for more details and for just useful information to know. Another thing is a calendar with upcoming events, so that if they have like get-togethers with their mentors, then they know that it's coming up. And last but not least, a text and email system for reminders and announcements. So if they don't have text, we can incorporate email into it. If they don't have email, we can incorporate text, and they can all do it under one centralized web application.
And if you join Friends of the Children, through the web application, we hope to support and empower underserved youth to enter adulthood with a solid foundation for future success and happiness. Long term, we hope to create a meaningful and lifelong experience for these youth and build social and emotional development.
Hi, I'm Solia. I'm going to be a Dev PL for the upcoming year, and the organization that we will be co-leading with Nasser is Trans Can Work.
Hi, my name is Nasser. I'm one of the design PLs for Trans Can Work. And Trans Can Work is basically an organization that provides resources for trans, gender diverse, and intersex, or TGI, job seekers by connecting job seekers with navigators who help them throughout their job search. To further this initiative, Trans Can Work partners with the government, associations, chambers, workforce centers, and businesses to connect transgender job seekers with jobs in trans-friendly environments. Trans Can Work also provides training and certification of the employers that hire their job seekers to ensure that companies are providing a safe space free of workplace discrimination for their trans and gender non-conforming workers.
Awesome. So basically the main focus of Trans Can Work is to combat bias against transgender and gender conforming individuals in the workforce. Over 75% of transgender people nationally have experienced workplace discrimination. This bias also manifests itself in disproportionate earnings, with cisgender people earning 32% higher wages than their transgender counterparts within similar levels of education. So in order to sort of combat this, TCW aims to remedy this by ensuring that companies are supporting their TGI workers through trans-friendly work environments and providing individualized support for these TGI job seekers. However, the current process for keeping up with the next steps for job seekers is very difficult to track and is not interactive with the people who are using this application, to the point where they have no external application for clients to track their progress. So our proposed solution is a web application that allows job seekers to keep track of their milestones in an interactive and visually appealing app. The proposed web app would be a map that would also allow TCW to easily monitor progress of their clients through an internal system, following the same sort of map structure.
Yeah, and as a designer or developer for this web application, you can help better support Trans Can Work in their mission to connect transgender and gender non-conforming job seekers to jobs in trans-friendly environments, as well as to better protect these individuals from any type of bias or workplace discrimination.
Hi, everyone. My name is A, and I am a fourth-year communications major, and I'm one of the PLs for Skid Row Arts Alliance. And James.
Yeah, hi. My name is James. I'm a third-year comp sci major, and I will be the dev PL for this project.
So Skid Row Arts Alliance is the parent organization of many nonprofit arts organizations in Skid Row, such as Street Symphony, Piece by Piece, and Urban Voices Project, as you saw in the previous slide. And they work to create art and community in Skid Row through community-wide art projects. So I'm not sure if y'all are familiar with Skid Row, but it's notorious for issues like gentrification and homelessness. And one of the many reasons is due to the community not being recognized as an entity. So what Skid Row Arts Alliance does is it brings individuals together and advocates for them through arts and culture to support placekeeping for all of the residents in Skid Row. And right now they provide residents with workshops and events to present the neighborhood of Skid Row as a united front.
So our solution is our favorite method, which is mobile apps. We're going to build out an interactive map so that individuals within the Skid Row community who download it are able to navigate and sort of see what workshops are available throughout all of their partner organizations, as well as providing them a unique platform to sort of share all of their works that they do at these workshops with other creators, as well as giving them a platform to sort of amplify their own voices. By joining our amazing team, you will be advocating for the Skid Row community through documentation of arts and cultures to sort of provide this unified front to all of those who are trying to sort of push away those residents and sort of unify a largely disregarded population within the Los Angeles community, county.
Okay, awesome. So you just heard about the amazing nonprofits that we're going to be working with this upcoming year. By joining Blueprint, you would be able to work on one of these projects, learn more about the work and support the work of these amazing nonprofits and support their communities that they work with. But you might still be wondering, like, why join Blueprint? Why us? Aside from helping other people, you would also end up like creating a great community and learning a lot of skills that help yourself. The community we have here is extremely supportive. I've had multiple ranting sessions, a couple on occasions when stress within my own life gets very serious, and they're always there for you when you need them. So the work we do is incredibly important, but at the end of the day, nothing's more important than making community here and making sure that everyone is doing okay. And if that doesn't convince you, we'll also talk a little bit about the technical reasons to choose Blueprint. Okay. So the projects we handle have an incredible impact on the community, and oftentimes, especially in academia, this isn't true. Projects are very short-lived. You'll build it, it works maybe some of the time, and then you feel really excited that you finished it for a few days. But outside of the progress that you've made and the things that you've learned, there's very little influence outside of that. The projects you work on in Blueprint will live for far longer and ultimately help a large number of people. As a developer, you'll be able to learn the ins and outs of modern technology from JavaScript and the React framework that are utilized heavily in industry, and you'll get to learn this and proper integration with the backend. Pretty awesome, right? It's also really important to develop soft skills since you'll rarely be working alone when you enter the tech industry. So active communication with other developers and with the design team will give you a better understanding of the work it takes to produce a sound and cohesive product. But don't take it from us, though. Take it from all of our alumni from that side that you saw earlier that went to different companies using the skills, values, and ethics that they nurtured through Blueprint.
Yeah, and on the design side of things, here at Blueprint, we believe that design is iterative, meaning that it's not a linear process, and we're always going back to constantly improve our previous designs. So as a designer, you'll be immersed in different methods of user research, including usability testing and user interviews, where you'll get the opportunity to basically communicate with live users firsthand. And this is a really rare opportunity for undergraduates because if you have like other classes, those aren't like actual users in the actual app. On the other hand, you can also develop some hard design skills, including creating wireframes, mockups, and prototypes that'll really help you develop a good design thinking process. And perhaps most fulfillingly, you will have your design seen and used by real users. You'll see the direct impact it'll have in the LA community. And overall, it's just a really good hands-on experience because you get to work closely with developers to make sure that you communicate your vision properly. And it's also a really good training opportunity because you learn to design under realistic constraints.
To summarize, you should join us if you want to be a part of a member-first community. Not just our exec, but our project leads and general members work together to create a genuine atmosphere that prioritizes your well-being while also creating wholesome memories. We do this simultaneously while creating products that go on to create impact that lasts the test of time. Some of our products this year cater to audiences of 10,000 to hundreds of thousands of users. In Blueprint, you won't just be a developer or a designer, but an innovator and change maker who cares. Next slide, please.
Okay, let's go over some of our frequently asked questions. The first one is, do I need experience to join Blueprint? No, you don't. Having some kind of experience is, of course, preferred, but we specifically look for passion and demonstrated commitment to learning rather than past knowledge. We go through an extensive onboarding process once you join Blueprint to teach you what you need to know in terms of development and design. And once you're in your project team, your project lead will continue to work with you based on your skill level. So experience shouldn't be a deterrent to whether you want to join. Second is how much of a time commitment is Blueprint? We expect about 10 to 12 hours out of our members every week. This is split between about 6 hours a week for work sessions and then time for team bonding, for socials, for any of our general meetings, and individual time spent learning. But you really get what you put in terms of time. And then as our interview process, we have a short written application due this Friday, and then selected applicants will be invited to a virtual interview round where we talk to you to better understand your backgrounds and your passions and your reasons for joining. And then after that, we have a last chat in person so that we can just get to know your vibes better. Then next slide, please.
And so the next question that we commonly get asked is, what is the timeline for our projects? So our projects typically span one full school year from October to June, and that's when we deliver usually. Do I get to choose a team that I am on? Yes, you will get to choose, but that happens after you join the entire Blueprint team, and the project leads will get to kind of pitch the project to you, and you get to decide later, like, which you're more drawn to, and then we'll match people based on your preferences. How many people are we looking to recruit this year? We're looking to recruit around 10 developers and around 7 designers. We want to emphasize that this is not a set number. We will adjust it based on how many people we see are a good fit, but currently that is the estimated number right now. And before we move on, does anyone have any questions they would like to ask? Feel free to unmute or just ask in the chat. Okay, if nobody has any questions right now, oh, yes, we only recruit in fall. That's just because our projects are year-long. They don't start like in the middle of a quarter. So yeah, we just recruit in fall. And in terms of what we look for in applicants, we mainly look for passion, especially in the social impact space. If you have any relevant experience, that helps too. But the biggest thing we do look for is passion. That's what kind of brings our community together. Yeah. If you get rejected, then you wouldn't be able to work on the applications that we have, just because we have like a limited team size and the scope of the project just allows for a few members, but we will have external events for you guys, such as one coming up actually with Roblox, if we can say it, Anish. We will try to have like external events for anyone to come join, where it might relate to, professional development or just like talking about the social impact space. Those are open for everyone. But yeah, reapply again next year if you don't make it this year. We always welcome reapplicants. Okay, and if there are no more questions, you can also, you will also have a chance to talk with us after like our presentation. We will have like breakout rooms with each project team project leads, as well as the exec team. So if you don't have any like more general questions, you can ask us then too. Within project teams, how is work split up between members? So that is up to how the designer or developer project lead splits it up, but usually we try to split it by, you know, your preference for what type of feature you want to work on. We try to match like experience levels a little bit so that like you get the support you need to kind of learn what you need to finish like your features. And yeah, they're going, generally developers have like sprints that we work on, that you guys work in, and designers kind of work in more broad sprints, but yeah. And generally there are 3 designers per team and 6 developers per team, if that's a better reference. Okay, let's move on then. Okay, so now that you've gotten a better idea of what we have done, who we are, and the really, really exciting projects that we have for this year, we hope that you're just as excited to join us. So you can use this QR code to find all our links, including the application link, the interest form, where we will be sending like recruitment email updates in case like any like deadline changes, or yeah, it won't be used for spam. And you can also find our socials there if you want to learn more about us. Our Instagram has a lot of good posts to like see how our community is like. But yeah, and again, we will share this recording as well to the people who have signed up through our interest form, as well as the slides through like a PDF through email as well. And we will also have a second info session tomorrow in person at 6 to 7 p.m. at the Game Lounge. If you would like to attend that as well, or like speak to us in person, if you're more comfortable with that. But yeah, if no one has any other general questions, we can like stop the recording and open the breakout rooms so you can talk with us more one-on-one. But if not, if you don't want to join the breakout rooms, I hope you have a good rest of your day and please apply.
Just to note that today we would have the luxury of time to answer everyone's questions, but that won't be possible for tomorrow's info session because we would have the room for a limited amount of time.
Yeah, so apply by Friday and ask us questions now. Okay. I will open the breakout rooms.